is with the Louisville Free Public Library. In 2017, we launched the Collider Artist in Residence program. Randy Gray is our March 2021 virtual Collider Artist in Residence. We are excited to welcome Randy back as he was our in-person artist for July of 2018. Randy is a Louisville cartoonist, and we hope you will join him for his live program.
Hey, this is Randy, and today I'm going to be talking about style. Style is something that a lot of artists worry about because they want to be unique, they want to be interesting and stand out from other artists. But what you need to realize is it's something that comes natural when you practice and when you draw and you're using the mechanics of art. So let's say the things that you leave out, some of the practices that you have, and your style usually will kind of come naturally. And doing these shapes, and sometimes I like to go in my sketchbook and just kind of make a shape and then just kind of see what comes out. And with superheroes, I think that because there's so many different artists that draw superheroes, style really comes through more than it does on, say, a character like a Garfield or Charlie Brown, because those characters are so dependent on the very specific way that they look. But with comic books and graphic novels, there's so many different artists that draw those characters. People tend to be more used to the different ways that they're drawn. And this is kind of a fun thing to do, to kind of make a game out of. Just kind of make a shape and then just see what you come up with. All right. Now, and let's say with it being Women's History Month and me wanting to emphasize female artists, Vashti Harrison is an artist who is someone who has a very unique style, I think, because she is, with her being the artist behind the Little Dreamers series and the Little series, she draws, her style tends to make the characters look really young. In some of her stories, she has the kind of a bigger, the round head and the big eyes. Kind of like the Chibi characters in anime. And Chibi Characters it refers to characters. Chibi is is kind of like the word cherub, the little chubby Cupid characters. And so when you make a character look kind of like a young or like a young character, or a baby, they refer to those as Chibi characters. And here's another little example. And I'll stick to what I've already drawn. Quick chibi Batman there. And these characters, they're cute and they're fun. And they do have a lot of style. And again, a fun game that you can play with your friends or with yourself is to, and this really kind of helps you to see what your style can develop into, because it kind of forces you to just draw something. You're not looking at anything. This is just something that just comes out of your head, and it really forces you to think. Okay, let's make a weird shape like that, and let's just see what we can come up with out of that. And I've really challenged myself here, but I think I'm up to the challenge. Let's see. It's not something I had in my head before. I'm just kind of going with the flow here. That's part of the fun. Okay. All right, let's do one more. And hopefully you guys come to my Zoom class. And what we'll be doing there is kind of more talking about the shapes and style and what I do caricatures. It really makes it fun to kind of start with one of these shapes and make faces off of them. I might even draw a few people that show up. So that's something you have to look forward to. And style also really not only comes from the things that you do to make shortcuts or the things that you do to the way that you individually draw shapes, it also has a lot to do with the things that influence you. What kind of art do you look at? What kind of art do you like? You know, I grew up watching a lot of cartoons on Saturday morning. And now with social media, there are so many different artists to see. So many different cartoon shows that have so many different styles. And the things that you like will usually kind of tend to come out of the stuff that you take in and the things that you see in your brain. There are artists that you'll see, like me, artists that you'll see that will, they seem to be like the type of art that you like and the way that you would like to see your art. And there are definitely artists, and you know, sometimes it changes. Sometimes like, oh, I like this guy. Oh, I like that guy. And then, you know, and you know, sometimes your style changes. There are a lot of artists whose style changes and develops. So, and a few of the artists that I really love and who influence me, one in particular, Ingo Ukozu, who draws Check Please. She has a really stylistic art style. It's a little cartoony. It's very linear. And Afua Richardson, who does a lot of the covers for the Black Panther Wakanda series, and she is an amazing artist. And she is a little bit more of a realistic. She's stylistic, but she's a more realistic artist. Erica Henderson, who draws The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, who's a fun series. And you can kind of tell by the artists that I like that I like cartoons. I like the cartoony, open style. And another artist that I'm really into is Lisa Tremaine, who draws Giant Days. Well, she used to draw Giant Days. So that's just a few, but I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but I encourage you to go check out their work and see what makes them unique, see what their style is. And I bet once you see their work, you'll be able to tell their work when you see it other places, and it'll help your own artwork too. With my work, and my style tends to change a little bit depending on what I'm doing. When I'm illustrating a book, my style might be a little bit different, or if I'm doing caricatures, it might be a little bit different, but there are still some things that are consistent through all the different things that I do. And like when I draw mouths, I'll read a lot of comic books, so I've taken a lot of nods from that. Like this little line under the lip, that's something I got from comics. The way that I draw noses, that's something that I got from, that's a little bit Saturday morning cartoon and a little bit comic book. And the shapes of my eyes is also something that I got from looking at a lot of comics. And those are the kind of things that we're going to talk about in our Zoom class. So you guys should sign up, maybe get drawn and get a lot of tips about drawing and developing your own style.